In the bustling heart of Lagos, Nigeria, where the sun beats down like an impatient drummer and the air hums with the chatter of market women and Okada riders, there lived a man named Chief Okoro. He wasn't just any man, he was the stingiest soul to ever grace the red earth of Africa. Legend had it that Okoro once haggled with a beggar over a single kobo, and won. But nothing prepared his village for the day he turned his mother's burial into the most outrageous feast of one. Picture this: mourners wailing under the mango trees, the pastor's voice booming prayers, and there, in the corner, Okoro stuffing his face like a squirrel preparing for eternal winter. By the end of the ceremony, every pot was licked clean, every grain of jollof rice vanished. The village erupted in whispers. Has Okoro no shame? Even death can't loosen his purse strings. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of a tale that would leave you laughing, crying, and questioning your own wallet. Buckle up, this is the story of the stingiest man alive. Okoro's stinginess wasn't born overnight. It was forged in the fires of his childhood in the dusty streets of Ikeja. As a boy, he watched his widowed mother, Mama Ada, scrape by selling akara balls at the roadside. She was the epitome of African resilience, a woman who could stretch one yam to feed a family of 10, all while singing high-life tunes to chase away the hunger pangs. "Okoro, my son," she'd say, her eyes twinkling like stars over the Niger Delta. "Life is like Egusi soup. Too much pepper, and it burns. Too little, and it's bland. But share it, and it tastes sweeter." But Okoro, he took her lessons and twisted them into a knot tighter than a miser's fist. By age 12, he was hiding his lunch from his siblings, claiming portion control to avoid sharing. "Why give when you can keep?" became his mantra, whispered like a secret juju spell. As he grew, Okoro's reputation spread like wildfire through the streets. He became a successful trader in electronics, importing phones from China and selling them at inflated prices in the Alaba market. But success only amplified his greed. He'd attend weddings with empty pockets, feigning poverty to dodge the obligatory spraying of naira notes on the bride and groom. "Why throw money when confetti is free?" he'd quip, dodging glares like a pro footballer. Once, at a neighbor's naming ceremony, he arrived with a single plastic spoon as a gift, insisting it was multi-purpose. The villagers nicknamed him Onye Akpati, the boxman, because he hoarded everything in locked chests: old newspapers, expired batteries, even the wrappers from chewing gum. His house was a fortress of frugality. With solar panels he installed himself, after bargaining the installer down to tears, to avoid NEPA bills. But beneath the humor of his antics lay a quiet ache: Mama Ada, his only soft spot, who still slipped him extra portions of pounded yam despite his wealth. The real comedy and tragedy unfolded when Mama Ada passed. At 78, she slipped away peacefully in her sleep, her last words a whispered prayer for her son's heart to soften. The village mourned deeply. Mama Ada had been everyone's mother, dishing out advice and akara with equal generosity. Okoro, now in his 52nds, organized the burial with military precision. He haggled with the caterers until they wept, securing mountains of food at rock-bottom prices: steaming pots of jollof rice laced with crayfish, fried plantains glistening like gold, Egusi soup thick with stockfish and periwinkles, and enough bottles of palm wine to drown a hippo. "This will be a burial to remember," he declared, but the villagers eyed him suspiciously. "Okoro planning a feast? Must be a trap," they muttered. The day arrived under a sky heavy with rain clouds, mirroring the grief in the air. Hundreds gathered in the family compound, dressed in vibrant aso oak wrappers and jella headies, their voices rising in sorrowful hymns. The casket, simple as Mama Ada would have wanted, sat under a canopy of palm fronds. As the pastor preached about eternal life, Okoro slipped away to the food tents. At first, it was subtle: a quick scoop of rice here, a sneaky drumstick there. But as the wails grew louder, so did his appetite. "Just tasting for quality," he told himself. But soon he was devouring plates like a man possessed. Mourners trickled in for refreshments, only to find empty pots and scattered bones. "Where's the food?" Auntie cried, her ample bosom heaving. "Okoro, he ate it all." The accusation rippled through the crowd like a Nollywood plot twist. Laughter bubbled up amid the shock. How could one man consume enough for 200? Okoro, caught red-handed with Egusi stains on his shirt, belched defiantly. "Waste not, want not, Mama taught me that." The scene descended into chaos. Uncles chasing him with walking sticks, children giggling at the absurdity, and the pastor pausing mid-sermon to chuckle. It was hilarious. Yes, a grown man, chief of stinginess, turning grief into a one-man buffet. But whispers turned to outrage. Even at his mother's grave, what kind of monster is this? As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in hues of orange and sorrow, Okoro retreated to the family hut, belly full but heart empty. The villagers dispersed, buzzing with tales that would spread via WhatsApp groups faster than Lagos traffic. But here's the twist that flipped the script like a sudden Harmattan wind. That night, alone with his mother's old Bible, Okoro uncovered a hidden letter tucked in its pages. Mama Ada had written it years ago, her handwriting shaky but resolute. "My dear Okoro, I know your heart is a locked chest, but inside beats the boy who once shared his last mango with a starving dog. Your stinginess isn't greed, it's fear. Fear of loss, like when your father died and left us nothing. But son, hoarding life robs you of its joy. At my burial, if you eat all the food, know this. I poisoned it with a slow-acting truth serum, harmless, but it will force you to face your soul. Share this letter, or the ache will never leave." Okoro's eyes widened. Poison? No, it was a metaphor, her final juju. But the serum was grief unbound. He wept for the first time since childhood, memories flooding. Mama's sacrifices, the siblings he ignored, the love he withheld like unpaid debts. The food? He'd eaten it all not just from greed, but from a twisted bid to keep her essence, the flavors she taught him to cook. By dawn, he emerged, transformed, distributing his hoarded wealth to the village school fees for orphans, seeds for farmers, even a community feast to redo the burial properly. Laughter returned, but now laced with tears of redemption. The moral: stinginess isn't just about money. It's a cage we build around our hearts, fearing the vulnerability of giving. In Africa's communal spirit, where Ubuntu teaches, "I am because we are," hoarding isolates us from the very life we cling to. Mama Ada's legacy wasn't her recipes or resilience. It was showing that even the tightest fist can open with love's gentle pry. Now, dear reader, if this tale tickled your funny bone, tugged at your heartstrings, or made you peek at your own stingy habits, we all have them. Hit that share button. Spread it on X, WhatsApp, or around the dinner table. Who knows? It might just go viral and remind someone to loosen their grip before it's too late. What's one act of generosity you'll do today? Tell me in the